Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of NerdSpice, a show handcrafted to add some flavor to your pop culture consumption. I am one of your hosts. My name is Saya. I am also here with Oscar.
Hi everybody.
And Jay Molly Mall.
What's good?
Hope you guys are having a good day. Hope you guys have at least eaten once.
I don't care.
I don't remember.
Oh, you're talking to me. I thought you meant our audience. Oh. That's worse.
I mean, either or. I hope everybody's eating. This is NerdSpice. Yeah. We want to make sure everybody's at least
true.
Nice and balanced.
I hope you got your daily dose of nerd culture.
Yeah.
I don't know how you eat nerd culture.
You don't eat nerd culture.
You can.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Are there like anime cereal?
Maybe.
Homework for tonight. Find anime cereal and leave it for us in the description. If this is 30 days or more old, don't even think about doing it. That would just... It's not even worth it.
Yep. And so we're here, and as always, you can find our actual podcast Twitter at NerdSpice Pod. Today's episode, we're going to do something a little different. So it's not like a regular movie review. Now we're talking about TV.
What?
And I think,
what's
Maul,
TV?
You wanted to call this segment TV Dinners for the show?
Sure. TV tray, TV dinner.
Yeah, why don't you
hungry man.
Why don't you elaborate on that? just...
Well, we always do movie reviews, so, I think we just expand our media content a little bit. So I was just giving you all titles, so when you come to our podcast and say, I don't really watch movies like that, or I haven't seen this movie, but I did see this TV show, you can look for TV Dinner in the title, and look at that.
Yeah.
You can just skip to this episode. We're not going to put everything in one big, meshed up episode, so you're not skipping through trying to avoid spoilers. But also, basically, we're just dividing up the content that we share. Yeah. And today, we're talking about one of my favorite Netflix Marvel TV shows. Actually, my favorite Netflix.
Yeah,
Marvel.
It's like, what else is there?
What
are we talking about today?
Daredevil.
Ooh.
Daredevil. The Blind Bandit.
The Blind
Bandit. You're so wrong for that. You're messed up.
Is it not true?
He's not a bandit.
Why not?
What's he stealing?
What's he stealing?
He's stealing people's lives.
He did steal that voice recorder from Bullseye's apartment. He's a little thief. He was listening.
Y'all, Daredevil is lit, and I'm going to say this throughout the episode.
Past tense.
Daredevil is lit. And
it got canceled.
Honestly, to be honest, one of the main villains, even though I don't think they said it the whole show, but Bullseye. They didn't say Bullseye the whole show.
No, they didn't.
They called him Point. When did they say Bullseye?
Poindexter.
They called him Poindexter, but they didn't say Bullseye. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They didn't say the actual
At the end of the series, they just had the little bullseye icon in his eye, and you're supposed to know. You just have to know.
I mean, I get it, but I just realized they didn't say Bullseye at all.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's fine.
That's fine.
It's very accurate, I guess. This nigga was just throwing shit, y'all. He was throwing anything in sight, water balloons, switches, hats. It was hitting Daredevil. I just had to point that out because that's literally my favorite part of this whole show.
Well, I'm glad I know what your favorite part is now.
Thanks.
Because once we get to that segment, then I'm sure you have a lot more.
I'm going to say it again.
Yeah.
But on today's episode, we're doing a discussion of sorts on the latest season of Daredevil, which came out back in October. So this discussion is a little late because it's December now, but it's fitting because unfortunately Daredevil was canceled this past week. So now we have something to talk about.
Got canceled because it's going to Disney. It's going on Disney.
Stop.
I'm mad they didn't put for Netflix in parentheses when they said Daredevil will be canceled.
Oh, for Netflix. Like, you think they're going to move it to the Disney streaming service?
Yeah.
I don't know, because the actors were saying that they're done. They're done.
I thought he wanted to play Daredevil again.
I mean, they want to play Daredevil, but, like, the actress who plays Karen, she was like, it's been great.
Nobody wants her anyway.
I loved it. Excuse me?
She actually was a little better this season, but all the other seasons, nah. And I still hate Foggy.
So,
yeah.
So in this discussion, instead of going over actual episodes, because it's 13 episodes, like we don't want to sit here all day and talk about every episode. We're just gonna
do plot progression.
Yeah, we're doing characters and plot progression.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we start out with Matt? Of course, he's the titular character of the show, being Daredevil. Mm-hmm. But in this season, he kind of isn't Daredevil. Like it's kind of like
he's going through his Spider-Man 2 moment.
I was just
would you call it the Spider-Man 2?
Yo, exactly.
He's like the opposite. He's the opposite. Where Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was like, I don't want to be Spider-Man. This one was like, I don't want to be Matt Murdock. I just want to be Daredevil. You know, it's kind of like that opposite side where he didn't want to continue being Matt Murdock if he was going to put his friends and whatever family he has in danger. He just wanted to be Daredevil and let people think that he was still dead. So,
and he symbolized that also by going back to his first suit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I actually like the black suit.
I did too. Oh, it grew on me. Still like a hobo, but I mean,
it's okay.
Yeah, it's inconspicuous. It's inconspicuous.
So how did you guys feel in the season premiere, pretty much, where you find him and he's like in a sewer or something? He comes out of a sewer. He's like really dirty looking. And then he finds himself at the Catholic church and he's being taken in by the nuns and Father Lantom. How did you feel about where he was in that moment?
I don't even remember what happened.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
I didn't remember what happened in this.
I didn't watch Defenders,
but I was just like, you know,
watched like half of it. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure I would have, and I proved myself right. I would have picked up on what happened.
Yeah,
so, I mean, it didn't really.
I liked how he went back to where his life began.
Yeah,
as like Daredevil, it started in the orphanage where he was like learning about his powers, and Stick came through, right, and to teach him. Yeah, I kind of like that. He's going back to where he began, and he's starting from zero. Like, everybody thinks he's dead. He can barely walk. He's injured, and he's just going through it. Like, he's going through it.
So pretty much, because you haven't seen the rest of Defenders, pretty much at the end of Defenders, Matt gets a building toppled on top of him.
I picked up on that. Yeah.
They said that. Like, They did say that?
They said, yeah, I think Foggy said something like that. And I was like, oh no, oh, that's so bad.
Yeah, so he had a building toppled on top of him, and Elektra got away, I think.
Yeah.
Because she's Elektra.
I'm glad he didn't bring her back.
And now they can't. But yeah, so he had a building toppled on top of him, and so...
Ouch, yeah.
Now he's kind of in a rough spot, like literally and figuratively for the story. And so he starts out at the church, and he's like going through this cathartic rebuilding of himself, but like you said, he was trying to figure out, does he want to still be Matt Murdock, or does he want to be Daredevil 99% of the time? It was kind of interesting seeing how it played out. Especially because he seemed so nonchalant, but at the same time angry because he wanted that decision to be something that he actually wanted to do.
Yeah, he had a lot of anger toward just the situation. There was a lot of conversation about God and his own placement and like...
So much Christian.
Catholicism.
Oh.
Well, I mean, he's a Catholic character, so...
Yeah, that's the whole
point. No, it's Catholicism. There are other branches.
I don't know. Anyway,
it's okay.
I don't know. I don't follow religion like that.
But there was a lot of good like conversations with him and the sister. What was her name? Maggie.
Yeah, Sister Maggie.
Yeah, and like his story about Job, was it?
Yeah, the story about Job and how pretty much a lot of stuff was being taken away from Job, and through Matt's sense, he was pretty much saying that the God or the devil was allowing everything to happen to him, and Job was just taking it. Like, Job wasn't taking his life into his own hands. He was just letting everything hamper down on him.
Yeah, and he was saying, I'm not Job. I'm Daredevil, and I'm going to get my shit done, and I don't care.
Exactly. And so, how do you feel going into the season and then pretty much following his overarching theme and his character arc for the season? How do you think they started off? Like, did it seem organic? Did it seem kind of forced? Like, what do you think?
It was pretty enticing to watch this side of the superhero story where he just... Because usually we see people going like, I'm not going to stop being the superhero and I'm just going to live my life. But he's like, everybody thinks I'm dead already. If I come back to life, quote unquote, all my friends are going to be in danger because of their association with me. And I think they did a really good job of just going through all of the facets of that and of how he was feeling and his anger and his attitudes towards Daredevil himself. He was just really trying to embody that Daredevil kind of aesthetic kind of attitude.
He was letting the devil in.
Yeah. And then at the end, as an audience member, I acknowledged that even without Daredevil, Karen and Foggy and all of his friends, they're still going to be involved in all this shit anyway. And I think he came to that conclusion too, that it's like, no matter what I do, my friends are still going to be doing their own stuff. Like, they're not going to get in trouble because of me. They're going to get in trouble, period. And it's best if we work together, I think. They were kind of touching on that in a few parts. And I really like that aspect of the superhero story. We don't really get to see that often.
The breakdown.
Yeah.
What did you think, Maul? How did you feel about his character starting out pretty much where he wanted to go as far as his life choices, becoming Daredevil and getting rid of Matt Murdock?
I mean, it was good. They did a good job, you know, as Oscar hit all the points and stuff like that. But, I mean, as far as I don't want to be Matt Murdock anymore. And then they showed the consequences. They showed him going through it. They actually showed the execution of him trying to delete Matt Murdock and saw how it failed. And then the act of him rebuilding back his friendships are like, just fuck it. I'm just go around and doing what I was doing before, you know? So, I mean, they did a good job doing it. And it did feel, even though it was less episodes than normal, it was a good length. Was it? Wait,
no, it was the same amount.
It was the same amount?
The good thing about this season that I would say, as far as the episodes,
it felt
like
consistent.
One. Yeah, it felt like one continuous.
No, everything about this whole thing was consistent.
Yeah, one episode melts into the other.
Yeah, each, like, I remember there was one episode, and this is like towards the middle, like later half of the season, where he infiltrates Kingpin's fortress, pretty much. I call it a fortress because, let's be honest, that was no prison inside of a hotel. But he pretty much gets in there. He finds the lady who's like manning all these computers, and he realizes that Kingpin is going to go somewhere. I forgot where the Kingpin was going, but he was going to go after the Kingpin so he could actually, kill him. Or the Kingpin was coming back, so he was going to wait for him. He was going to wait for him to kill the Kingpin, but then he found out that Dex was going to the church to find Karen. And that episode ends, and then the next episode is immediately him going to the church to actually save Karen. And so that's one of the things that I liked about this season. Like, each episode, you can pinpoint it and you can talk about it separately, but overall they did a really good job of making sure the story felt continuous throughout.
Jessica Jones did that too.
Yeah, she did.
Jessica Jones was really good with melting episodes.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah. What about Fisk though? Can you talk about Fisk?
Did you have any favorite moments for Matt before we jump into Fisk?
See, with Matt, like, his character's very consistent, and I like that. Through all the seasons, he's not like, oh, this Matt's a little darker than the last one. You don't say that. He's been fairly himself, was consistent. So, I mean, all the stuff that he's done in this season, I have seen before. Yeah. Kind of, in a sense. But I guess my favorite scene was him getting his hearing back, even though it was short in the beginning. Oh, yeah. I like stuff like that, like whole redemptions or regaining your senses and stuff like that. Or how helpless he felt without, his senses. That was also powerful. He's like, oh my God, like, not only is this his power, this is how he fucking lives. Like, this isn't like Spider-Man. He can go back to being smart Peter Parker, get a nice little job. Nah, I need to see the sound waves. This is strong. This is a moment. Also, that end fight, the last fight.
Oh, yeah.
That was strong
with
too.
Fisk.
Yeah. With Fisk and Dex.
His realization. Yeah. He didn't kill him. He knew better. He felt it.
Avatar Aang style. Everybody's telling him to kill him.
He didn't even take his bending away.
Aang, yeah.
Yeah, he Aang that shit.
Oscar, did you have any favorite moments?
The fight scenes were pretty cool. Beautiful gowns. I mean,
I will say, I did like the scene where he pretended to be Foggy and infiltrated the prison, but then everything went to crap.
I mean, that's classic, Matt. Yeah, he did a good job there, though. And that was all one shot.
Yeah.
Really good. Good job.
It became a tradition for the Marvel Netflix shows to at least have one hallway scene. And so this season we were like, how are they going to change it up?
Funny how I don't remember any other ones.
Because in the first season of Daredevil, he has that one hallway scene where...
I remember the ones in Daredevil. I'm talking about the other... You said
the other shows.
You said the other shows, right? Or is it just
Daredevil? In Luke Cage, when he was going to get the money, they were playing Bring the Ruck. Bring the Ruck.
I'm shaking my head just so you all know so you can't see.
He went to infiltrate that one building. That was a really good scene. Don't shoot it down.
I really don't know what you're talking about. I swear to God, I don't. I'm being completely honest.
Oh, yikes.
But anyway, the first season of Daredevil, they had the first hallway scene, and we were like pretty much taken away seeing it for the first time. And then the second season, I think they had the hallway scene, or did it transfer into the stairwell scene?
Stairwell?
The stairwell scene, the stairwell scene was really good. I like that one. But this one really kicked it up a notch, because not only was it one take, but it was 11 minutes. And so
he was struggling.
He was drugged.
Them enemies were giving him the work.
But then he was like trying to get out, and the one guy was carrying him, and then the camera shifts, and you see this one guy like repeatedly stabbing a soldier in the neck, and like you see the blood squirting on the wall. I was like, good
beautiful
God.
Orchestra.
This is a lot.
Do it harder.
I think that was one of my favorite scenes for Matt, and of course the end fight with Fisk and Dex. Not because it was really physical, but because it was more of a emotional type of thing.
And I would have been the petty bitch standing in the back. I would have been Fisk's wife.
You would have been Vanessa.
I would have been
Vanessa. She was like, oh no.
He takes her pearls and starts throwing it everywhere.
It was like, he said, go to the plane. And she stood on the steps.
She stood there.
That's me being hard-headed, y'all.
She was like, I ain't signed a prenup, so
that's me
do what you gotta do. I'm inheriting this money.
That's me being hard-headed as shit. Go to the plane. Oh. It's like double take, look back.
So why don't we jump into Fisk then? Since we touched on that.
I love Fisk.
Greatest performance in this whole show.
When I was a boy.
Listen, you could be like, hey, Fisk, can you pass me the orange juice? So, what is orange juice? But a physical capacity of a man's drink.
Here it is. Fisk, can you pass me the apple juice? When I was young, my mother told me a story about the farmers and how there was much oppression back in the Midwest and they couldn't take care of their apple ranch because it was infiltrated by like he'll go into a whole story
to take the apple ranch and
he'll go into a whole story and
I shoved it down his throat.
He'll go into a story and like try to connect it to what's going on and we're like all you have to do is say yes or no
but don't act like I wasn't here for it though.
No, we were. I was just like, can you breathe? I was like, how much should they pay you? Because they have to pay actors that talk. And so I'm like, you're talking for 5 minutes.
That's fine.
Like, that's 20 minutes.
He's making sure you're getting that check.
Yeah.
Fisk had everything planned. Y'all thought he was sitting in that prison, sitting there just weak. He's like, nah, I'm thinking. I know I'm waiting for that weak attorney to come in here. And we're going to make a deal where I get all my Venice steak. all my shit. I'm not going to be up in here posted for a long time. I'm going to get out here one way or another. And I thought it was weird that some random guy would come up and stab Fisk. A Fisk, of all people, just because you didn't. Well, he had so many battles, so many fights, or so many enemies would have gotten on him. So some random dude going to come up and stab him.
I hadn't thought of it at first.
Yeah. Huh? I knew something was fishy because it was just like, he came very subtly.
Yeah.
Everybody was kind of standing back, and then Fisk looked at him as he was helping him do his little weights. And then he got stabbed, and Fisk got really mad, and I was like, ooh. Are you going to actually kill him? And the fact that he didn't kill him, I was like, okay, he's working for Fisk. Because if I was Fisk,
it was just a little suspicious, because it's just like, just walking up, like, nobody's done that.
Like,
it's Fisk.
Like, you could have done that?
Like, you really about to die.
Like,
he did make it believable, though, to the others. Like, lifting it up about the killing, he's like, I'm a changed man. No. Nah, I'm just patient.
I love it. I think he's one of the best villains that Marvel has to offer. Like
throughout the whole media.
Like he has planned everything.
Throughout your whole media. That includes your movies, Marvel. This Fisk representation in this little rinky-dink show on Netflix is one of the best actors he could have got for this specific role.
So that means Grimace can go back to wherever he is, get rid of the Infinity Gauntlet because he already destroyed it. He can go back. Fisk is the best villain.
He is so accurate to the character that he's playing. That's why it's really good.
I mean...
It's like hella accurate.
And I didn't know a lot about Kingpin before seeing Daredevil, even the first season.
I looked into Kingpin after seeing Daredevil. Yeah. So I was like, wait a minute. Because
there's that one character that you're just going to fall in love with.
Yeah.
You want to know more about.
He's so good. Lex Luthor of Little City, New York.
Little City.
Yeah. Well, it's not Little City.
He's controlling
Hell's Kitchen.
He was controlling the FBI and the NYPD. Were like, yeah, we know he's controlling
through talking.
The FBI. Like
by talking.
How? Like, what is he doing? He's just getting everybody tied up in his little web of lies, and he's keeping himself clean. Like you can't pin any of that shit on him. That was amazing.
And then he does it by not demeaning you. Like, he literally just treats you like a random, regular person.
Right.
He's like, I like your suit. He could look at you and be like, I like that brooch. And you're like, what do you need? Like,
this guy who was hell-bent on not letting Fisk get to him became his whole centerpiece for the show. Fisk saw him as a challenge. Let's talk about that scene where he was looking at his files and was deducing him and was walking through his life.
First of all,
Marvel, good job. Whoever directed this shit, good job. That was a well-directed scene. That was probably my favorite scene by him. They showed us how he gets into people's heads, how he deduces them or figures them out. Like, he's sitting there genuinely interested watching this boy. What was he doing to cats or birds or something?
No, he was throwing the baseball.
He was throwing baseball.
He was throwing baseball, but he started hitting him. He started killing birds and shit.
That was later on.
Yeah, you're weird. But
little serial killer.
But no, like, we got an in-depth look about how he does his stuff. And I like that.
I like the touch of grayscale.
Of course, yeah.
Normally shows, when you have flashbacks, first of all, we have flashback shows usually like transition a scene.
Or make it cloudy around the edges.
Yeah, they make it cloudy around the edges.
The whole light's dim. Niggas went to the back, like the backlight dropped, and it was like, oh, this is a flashback.
Yeah, like usually they can have it cloudy around the edges, or they just cut the scene entirely so you know it's a flashback.
Yeah.
But with this one, it's like, no, we're still going to be in the same room. We're still going to follow Fisk, but the visual representation of Fisk watching a young Dex go through everything that he's gone through in his life, plus like the grayscale aesthetic, I was like, man, they're really like trying to bring it up. I liked seeing that play out. You know, they could have done it like a cliche way.
Yeah.
They could just be like, oh, let's read the file. And then they could do like a voiceover and it's like, Dex, you know, you're going through this, you're going through that. And Dex is like, you know, I didn't want to do this, I didn't want to do that. But no, it's like you're seeing Dex's story unfold for Fisk. And not only was it good for us to get the backstory of Dex, but we're seeing how Fisk works. Like, he looks for the little things, you know? No villain, you don't see other villains, like, looking for, like, the little things in those scenarios.
And also, like, I always just thing with, like, comic book things in general, like, more focus on the villains.
Right.
We get so much focus on the heroes and stuff like that when the villains come in. We're just like Thanos, for instance. Fuck you know about him? He's been nothing. Like he just had these half-ass.
He cried
I'll do it myself,
death.
nigga. What? Who are you? Fucking great punch. Anyway,
punch. Fun fact: do you know he only had 4.5 minutes before being introduced in Infinity War?
I guess.
My point exactly. And then the backstory that they gave him wasn't even. Anyway, look, good job with Fisk. You did a very good job with Fisk, and the attention to him just. Superb. All of his scenes I enjoy watching. This nigga had a whole back room.
Yes, he had a whole back room.
He had a whole. He owned the hotel. He owned everything.
He owned the hotel.
He owned everything.
Yeah, he bought it. That was actually
that was something that Karen was looking up. Was it Karen or Foggy? I think it was Karen. It was Karen.
Karen was looking it up because the FBI was taking Fisk to the hotel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Karen found out that the hotel was bought by a company that's represented by the same lawyer as Fisk. Yeah, it was Red Lion Company.
Listen, Fisk had everything planned, and the FBI was just eating it all up. Poor FBI guy.
Ray,
what's his name?
Nadeem.
Yeah.
Nadeem.
You want to talk about him since we can go ahead and do that?
I guess.
How'd you feel? Like, he was just
Debt is a powerful drug.
Debt is a powerful drug. He was another character that was introduced, not like a character that you're familiar with. It was just something new for the season.
Yeah.
I like this character. He was very charismatic, but you could tell that...
very driven.
He was driven because he just wanted to get his family out of a bad situation.
That's not the way to do it.
I mean...
He tried.
But it was such a complicated situation. It's like you need a promotion to afford things, but you're too broke to get a promotion. Like your credit score is so shitty you can't get a promotion. That was like I get that it shows financial responsibility or whatever, but that like infinite loop of not having enough money to get your credit score up, not having a good credit score to get a promotion. That was so frustrating for me, and I felt for him. I thought he was just going to be like a side character that we would see 1 or 2 episodes. Fisk had him. He was his puppet the entire time. He was planning this since Nadeem's sister-in-law got cancer.
An involuntary puppet.
Like,
he
what?
He should have did a pyramid scheme.
Stop.
It might have worked.
They're always talking about the incident, which is like the Avengers thing from 2012.
Yeah, some
so they'd be like, if I just sell you 20 copies of the incident, then you can make like $1,000 every minute.
I'm done.
But like, yeah, he was going through a lot, and I really felt for him because when he was introduced, I didn't know where his character was going to end up on the spectrum of like good or bad.
Yeah.
But you see him, he has a wife, he has a kid that he cares about, he has a family that he cares about because he poured so much money into his sister-in-law, I want to say, because she had cancer. Mm-hmm. And so you're seeing that and you're like, you know, you're a good guy. You just got into a really bad situation.
He just got caught up.
Yeah. And I think that's so representative of like a lot of people and what they're going through, especially being sick in healthcare. We're not going to get political, but they really hamper down on politics and healthcare and all that.
Yeah.
For Ray and his family. I felt really bad when he ended up dying anyway.
Ooh, that scene was strong.
Yeah.
It was, because it was so sudden, and it's like, First of all, you're going up against Dex, and you're like, well, there's no way you can get out of this. Like, he's going to hit you.
He'll probably throw his house at him.
He knew he was going to die. Yeah, he was ready to die. He'd made his video recording, and oh man, it was just so sad.
Fisk was shook when he was doing his dance. Everybody was playing that video.
I would be so mad at my wedding.
He was like, imagine what is going on. This was not a part of my calculations.
Vanessa was like, just focus on me, Fisk. They're looking at us. I didn't even realize she had an accent. But anyway, yeah, like he made that. I'm sorry, that just came out of nowhere. But he made that video for his wife, and it felt so. That video broke me to my core too when he was talking to his son, and it's like, his son is not going to see him again.
That was cliche, but appropriate.
It was sentimental.
I didn't feel that sad.
I mean, you don't have to feel sad, but it's like, dang, like he's about to lose his dad.
Oh.
And
you're like Wendy Williams. Oh.
And it was only worse because his wife was like trying so hard to make sure that he was just being honest with her, and she was like, if you're going through something, you need to like tell me so that we're not just sitting ducks.
He worked for the whole ass. Never mind. I don't like because be spitting out information.
The scene where they had the shootout in his. The scene where they had the shootout in his house. I'm sorry, I just thought of something different.
Oh.
The son was probably upstairs in the bathroom like, y'all hear something? They had a shootout in his house because they were trying to get him, and he was trying to break away from Fisk's
and what do you know, at the last minute, Daredevil's there.
Exactly.
Save the day.
And I was actually surprised he revealed himself too.
No, but it made sense. I didn't see him doing it, but I saw why he did it, and I was with it.
I was surprised he did it, but it made sense as to why he did it.
So. Yeah, it'd be funny if he still didn't trust him until he took the mask off. I'm going to report your ass. Report it. You thought? Oops.
He probably looked at Matt and he was like, ain't you that bad lawyer? Like, what you doing?
I thought you were dead. That's fucked up. But yeah.
Let's talk about...
I would like to do like what ifs. Like if something happened like in a turning point of like a show or a movie. Ooh. Like if we did like Fantastic Beasts or something like that. We're like, what if...
J.K. Rowling wrote her script like that. Like, what if?
Okay, that was good. Because she does.
She does.
She has a whole what if of Harry Potter. Man, don't get me started on her. Let's go back to Fisk, please. I think that's it. We're wrapping up on Fisk. Favorite moments?
Favorite moments for Fisk?
I think I already said my favorite moment.
For Fisk?
Oh. I love... Ooh.
I'm sorry. You're like shaking. You are like... Jeez. You are throwing fists in the air.
I love the first moment that we're introduced to Fisk for this season, and he's making his breakfast, but he's imagining that he's actually at home making the breakfast, but he's in prison. So you have those two scenes like going back and forth, and it's like this is where he is, but this is where he knows he's going to end up.
And just a DLC to what you said, when that nigga screamed quiet. Everybody shut up.
That power, the power that
has, the impact that has.
I was quiet. I was chewing and I stopped. Okay, whatever you want, Fisk.
It's like, oh, gosh. Because this is the last season, I think this is great. Yeah. This was a great performance by Vincent. Fisk was great as always.
His last performance was great as well. Like I was sucking his dick. I was sucking his dick the last fucking and now I'm sucking even harder. It's just really good. I think my favorite scene. Oh, remember when he almost lost his composure when Ugly Girl walked up in there?
Who are you talking about?
Paige.
You're not
Paige.
Don't call her Ugly Girl.
What's her name?
She is not.
I forgot.
Karen.
She is very gorgeous to me.
Look, I will say.
Don't talk about her.
I will say she was very admirable this season.
That's actually one of my favorite scenes for Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. She knew what she was doing, and she almost got to him.
Let me tell you something.
But I'm glad it was interrupted because I didn't want to see my man Fisk get interrupted by this lady.
When I tell you Deborah was acting. Like
she brought it.
Did y'all like Karen last season?
I've always liked Karen.
I can't remember. Or was it just Foggy? To be fair,
maybe Foggy was proxy to that because she was so close to him.
Foggy was a little annoying this season, but
he was annoying all of them.
I always liked Karen. I think Karen was great.
Yeah. Okay,
let's touch on Karen since we're talking about her anyway. So we find Karen. She's going through this. Oh, Matt's not dead. I'm still paying for his rent, which I don't understand how she is because you're in New York
City.
She can afford 2 rents. Like,
I'm like, you're affording 2 rents and you're a whole reporter. Like, what type of salary do you have?
Let me have been in my cab and stroll past the alley and see him fighting.
Well, you know how mad I would be paying. I know when he came back, she was like, "You owe me for all the times I paid your rent," and I'm like, "That was voluntary."
But did he pay her bills?
He's not going to pay her back.
He's a terrible lawyer. He's not making enough money himself. What? Oh no, I'm upset. So yeah, her credit score is going to tank. She's going to be the next Nadeem. Like,
is that reporters' money?
Reporters don't got that kind of money.
Hey, not to be made for 2 households.
2 whole rents.
In New York?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, is Hell's Kitchen like the lower tier of apartments?
She's shaking her whatever she got. I don't think she got.
She's not.
Well, I hope she don't listen to this.
Karen was not at a strip club making money.
How you know?
How I know?
Exactly.
No. If anything, she would have been a drug dealer because she was already a drug dealer.
I can't even say that.
In the past life.
But
she was on the fucking those Adams.
Let's talk about that. I think that was like episode 9 or 10.
The flashback
the Karen episode.
Yeah.
So, and I thought it was going to be the whole episode. It was only like 20 minutes. But
I loved it.
It was great.
It was a great little dip into her life because we kept hearing about, she was like, they think I killed my brother. They say I'm a killer and whatever. And I was like, is that just something you're saying for clout? Or did you really kill your brother? Like, I want to know the full story. And then there was this one scene where she goes into a drug dealer's den to find the guy who stabbed Fisk. And she like came up with the lingo. She knew the terminology and stuff. And I was like, Karen, what do you know that we don't know that you know? And I was...
You're irritating.
I was waiting to see that other side of her because when we were introduced to her in season 1, wasn't she like next to a dead body? Like, what happened? Somebody died. Her boyfriend died, and they thought that she'd killed him. And then Matt Murdock helped her.
Was it her boyfriend?
Was it her boyfriend?
Or was it a random... I don't think they ever explained that.
Or was it like a coworker? I don't know. You guys will know, and you'll probably, you're probably yelling at your speakers like, oh my gosh, it was this whatever. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? I fucking love Daredevil. Oh my god, you're stupid. I'm turning off.
Stop mocking them. Y'all irritating.
Anyway, I loved it. I loved the whole family dynamic that she had with her dad, that she felt the need to be the one to run the restaurant business. And then, everything. There's just so much that they didn't need to say, but we got from her interactions with her family and the way she talked about her mom. I love that. I love that whole situation. It added her character depth, and it really just added to everything that we know about her. And it really just, when she faced Fisk, that was my favorite scene. Mm-hmm. I think not just for her, but like in the whole series, because it was like, you can't beat Fisk physically because he's like
she played his game and it was well calculated. She got up in there.
Exactly.
She did everything right.
She got her homework
and then it was interrupted. I'm mad it was kind of interrupted. I wanted to see the outcome of it if it had kept on.
He was gonna put it through that table.
I wanted to see how far he'd take it.
Listen, I would pay to see that. I would pay $40 max for an alternate ending.
Well, he
is that a lie?
I think he killed her in the comics.
Good.
Oh.
I think. I don't think it was that way. Let me find out how he died.
You better be corrected.
Anyway, y'all keep talking.
He slammed her.
I was really afraid. I thought he was gonna like beat her up and keep her hostage. He
didn't expect this. He didn't expect it. That's probably why he freaked out.
Because she beat him at his own game. His game is having information, having something on someone, and that's why people will do things for you. And she had that one piece of information that he didn't know.
Oh no, she was actually killed by Bullseye.
Ooh.
Don't staple on her head.
But no, if I was Fisk and she was like, do you remember your friend Wesley? I would have been like, who's that? I would have just played it all.
He really let her get into his head, but she knew that she was going to do that.
Who's Wesley?
Like, they both got into there.
West what?
She was sitting on that for a minute.
Westworld? Like, what is Westeros? Like, who's Wesley? But
you got West chicken eggs. I love eggs.
But I think Karen had a really great arc
season.
This was
a great season.
Good job, Karen. You get an A+ for me on this season only.
we don't have to talk about Foggy.
I mean, he still is a part of the main cast, and I would like to describe why I don't like him.
He was there.
I will say I didn't mind Foggy for the first 2 seasons of Daredevil and then Defenders. I thought he was fine, but this season I was like, okay, you're here because you have to be here.
The baddie that he slept with? I did not see that.
What was her name? Remember? The lawyer?
She was like delicious. And he's like yucky. You know what gushers are?
Stop. Yes.
That was Foggy. And she's like a whole fruit roll up.
How does that even make sense?
What would you not a fruit roll up, sorry, Airhead. What would you rather have? An Airhead or a
I
gushers?
thought you were making a sexual reference.
I know.
We're not going there.
That works too.
Anyway.
I don't know, it just didn't look right. And then like Foggy, like he's always been annoying, even with the new haircut.
Well, I didn't care about his looks. It's just his character overall. I was
well, that adds into it for me because I'm gay. But nah, I mean,
so if it was, I don't know who your main crush is right now. So
if it was somebody that I was attracted to,
yeah, you'd be fine with it.
Probably. Well, no, I'm not gonna base my whole thing off that. But honestly, like, I didn't feel like his character would have impacted the show if it wasn't there.
I think he would have impacted the show.
Because the only thing that he
actually did stuff that was important for the season.
The only thing that I saw that he was useful for was his key card.
He tried to run for the DA, and he kind of.
What did he do? He
tried to run against the DA, Blake Tower, in the season.
He ended up making a deal with him.
He had that YouTube video that was like super popular, I think.
Yeah,
except he messed up at the end. So
what did he do that was like game changing? Everybody had a game changing moment with him.
It wasn't really
even Vanessa.
It wasn't really anything game changing on his end.
Yeah.
Which is why I feel like, everybody had that moment. Yeah. That part of the season where we could say, Karen confronting Fisk with his deductions and his whole scheming of the whole, season.
Yeah.
Matt and his realization with himself and blah blah blah. The mother drop. Who his mother is.
Right. Sister
and everybody's had their moment except him.
I think his moment was just
did he ever pay back his family or his family?
But like he was supposed to be the character that you're supposed to look up to. Like all the other characters have kind of like dirty aspects of their lives, like death, alcoholism, beating people up. Yeah. He's the character that you're like, he's quote unquote good in this show. And he maintained throughout the show that he believed Matt wasn't in his right state. And if it wasn't for Foggy telling Karen that, Matt needed their help, I don't think Karen would have helped Daredevil. So like Foggy was just that connection to bring Matt Murdock back into the business.
Voice of reason.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I guess
he's like the voice of reason, and that's why Karen was like, I hate that you look at me like I'm evil or something. Or no, she said, I hate that you look at me like I'm perfect because you don't know the shit that I've done. Yeah, he looks for the best in everybody, and that's his character. He's looking for the best in everybody, except for, I guess, Fisk, because
there is no good in Fisk.
He's just annoying.
I mean, did I say his character was annoying?
You did. Yeah. Those were your exact
words. He's not annoying. Like, he wasn't annoying this season, but he wasn't a character that I was excited to see when he came on screen. I'll put it that way.
I can agree with that. I think as a character, he's essential to the story for what he brings, and I really like him as like a person, and he's a good friend, and I really like that aspect in that universe because it can get really dark, and we can forget to look at the bright side sometimes, and he kind of brings that in. But some of his scenes did falter a bit, where I was just kind of bored or confused, or just like I wasn't interested in what was going on. Like we would have a scene with Karen and Fisk right about to fight, and then Foggy walks in like, okay, break it up, everybody, time to come back to the real world.
That's why I don't like, because he interrupted that damn scene.
But yeah, I mean, there's really nothing else to really say about Foggy. His main thing this season was running against the DA, quote unquote, helping out Matt, bringing Matt back into the fold.
I think it's just harder to connect that to audiences because it's like harder to really, at least for me, it was harder for me to understand like exactly what a DA does and how him being a DA can help this and whole situation. Like he was playing some chess when I really wanted just to see people punch each other in the face until the problems were solved. And so they had a tricky job about going it because we knew Foggy wasn't going to be the confrontational type like that.
All right.
But I appreciate him. He wasn't my favorite character of the season, but I do think he was pretty good.
Okay.
How do we feel about Ben Poindexter / Bullseye?
Beautiful.
Beautiful art, beautiful person.
No, beautiful acting. Good job.
Yeah,
that's it.
He was really great.
There's not really anything to his character, except for the fact my favorite was him throwing things. He was throwing anything within reach.
He threw everything.
His pencil, a chair, a book, a pamphlet. It would all hit you right in your forehead. All of it. He would throw a napkin and it would hurt.
I did like that scene at the bulletin where Matt is hiding behind the cubicle and the camera followed Bullseye as he threw something and it bounced right back to Matt's view.
He's doing some Itachi level stuff. If y'all watch Naruto, when Itachi was training in the forest, he had targets set up in obscure places where you couldn't see where he was standing. He would throw a shuriken and have his shuriken bounce off of each other to hit the points behind.
Oh my God.
Like, this dude is on point. How you throw 3 coins, have 2 coins bounce off each other to knock the 3rd coin into his head? You're just showing off at this point. Just showing off. Really good though.
Yeah. I like what they did with his character, especially with him suffering from mental illness and how Fisk used that to his ability. He was being manipulated, but
he was trying his girl. He was going to look for a
she wasn't his girl.
Listen. Fisk popped her within 30 minutes of them meeting. They met in a coffee shop. She was like, "You're weird." He was like, "Please, just listen to me." She finally was like, "All right, I'll listen." Fisk was like, "Do it." As soon as she got up and finished her coffee, what are you doing? Pop. Lucy's like, well, that didn't happen. She was walking home.
Yeah,
they shot her in the hole. Basically,
he opened the freezer and found her body. He was like, "Oh!"
He dragged her body and put her in a car and drove her to the hotel. He was beyond lost at that point. He was he had snapped. I
actually thought he was going to kill Vanessa at the wedding.
I thought that was his goal. He wanted.
From the way they were setting it up, it seemed like he was going to throw it at Vanessa. Well, actually, he did.
Yeah, I thought.
But then Daredevil stopped it.
Yeah, he was trying to kill Vanessa. That was the 3-way battle. I love that 3-way battle where everybody's just fighting against everybody. But
I wish they would have had Bullseye gone berserk every time. Well, not every time, but most of the time when Daredevil would fault his aim because he's supposed to be tripped off. When people block his aim or he misses, he's supposed to get really emotional.
They did that in the Ben Affleck movie, and it was he's like, "I never miss. You stopped my gun. I never miss." And it's okay, we get it.
Because I think I remember correctly, it was from when I was researching Daredevil at first, and I read a couple comic strips. He's like, "I never miss," and he went fucking ham. He was throwing everything. But he just missed in this one. He's like, "I don't care. I'm just throwing more shit."
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I would be. I'd be like, "Oh, I missed. Okay.
I missed one. I still got 10 more projectiles within arm's reach."
That was shut the first couple of times he had shit done up. He's like, "Why is it so accurate?"
He's like, "Damn, where the fuck he throwing this shit from?"
To clap the air to get the sound waves.
Oh, shit. He did echolocate.
Clap the air. Where the fuck? Is that a Skittle?
Damn.
Because he did pause to try and figure out where everything was. He was
what the fuck is going on here?
I'm like, this is
because it would fuck him up. Because when this shit would bounce off his head, it would create a sound wave. It's where'd that come from? Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
Oh my God.
Let me not.
No, I cannot. Woo.
Oh,
that's funny.
But that was funny.
That was intense.
So how do we feel about the season as a whole? We pretty much
beautiful, fucking great. Favorite season, hands down.
I like how it wrapped up. I like how everything came in a nice little bow.
No questions.
I think if they had known that they were going to get canceled after the season, they should have just not shown us Bullseye getting his... I guess he was getting cybernetic enhancements or something. I don't know what the fuck that was. But they could have cut that scene out. And I think it was a great ending to the show and to the season and just amazing.
They're going to pull a Blade Runner and bring this back in 2045.
Stop.
Netflix Daredevil season 4. Well, not Netflix, but Disney. Disney's going to rule the world by then. Disney trying to buy PlayStation.
Get out of here.
They want a game assistant.
You're gonna play with Mickey Mouse every.
Right.
They already have Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought this season was really great too.
No.
Like it.
A+.
Yeah, it was great.
That's how much I enjoyed it.
I remember watching the finale and I was like, you know what? If they just ended the show here, then I would be fine. Even with like the bullseye tease and all that. Because, you know, they were restarting the law firm and everything seemed okay. Fisk went back to jail. Vanessa went to jail, I'm assuming.
Did she? I think...
Did she?
She went somewhere.
I thought...
She went to Peru.
Yeah, like she
they got her up out of there.
Left, yeah.
And then Matt is now at peace with what he's done. Like, he's okay now, so...
I guess, yeah.
I thought the season wrapped it really well, so yeah, I'll give it an A+ too. It was really great.
Yeah. No, on the topic of, like, them canceling the show, I think I'm not as upset as I should be, because, like, I think that season was a great ending, and overall, I thought that the Defenders project was just going to be a season each character, and then the Defenders... supposed to be. And it was supposed to end, but... I'm glad.
Oh, I thought the Defenders were going to keep going on.
Like, I thought they were just going to end it, and I was going to be fine with that. But I'm glad that they ended it where they did, because can you imagine, like, season 13 of Daredevil? Like, by that point, that would be too much. Look at Supernatural. Look at all these.
The most I could see them doing
shows.
For Daredevil is
probably 5.
5 seasons.
Yeah,
that's the most I could see them doing.
But I'm glad it ended where it is, and I think they left off on a high note. And it's going to live on as one of the better shows that Netflix has to offer.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
It brought in a lot of people for their service, and now that it's canceled, I posted a tweet.
Sweeping their services.
I posted a tweet that said me talking to Jessica Jones and Punisher, and it was a GIF of Whoopi Goldberg saying "You in danger, girl."
Punisher about to get snipped real quick.
Punisher is about to get
so good,
shot. Jessica Jones is about to get Omayawad. Like
Punisher,
she's about to get out of here.
Isn't Punisher getting one more season?
He's getting one more season, and then Jessica Jones is getting a season 3, and then it's
why
exactly like.
I don't know.
I don't even think
they probably already have it almost close to being done anyway, so
yeah,
they might as well just release it.
See, I'd be fine with the Jessica Jones cancellation because I feel like she only needed 1 season.
Yeah,
it's like you don't come back.
One, they shouldn't have killed Kilgrave. 2, they shouldn't. The second season is forgettable, but it wasn't terrible.
But just imagine
it was too long.
Imagine a 1 season, 13 episode show where a woman is trying to overcome her attacker and stuff like that.
Yeah,
she's a superhero.
That's what I thought.
And that's what she did.
Be.
And I'm like, that's great. So you just have 1 season, 13 episodes. It's great. You don't have to think about anything else.
Yeah.
But they had a season 2. I didn't finish season 2. I got to like episode 3. Luke Cage has season 2. I didn't watch Luke Cage season 2 because after
Luke Cage in the cage.
After episode 7 of season 1, I was like, yeah, this show is kind of going downhill a bit, and I didn't even finish Iron Fist. And a lot of people on Twitter are like, season 2 is so much better, and I'm like,
okay,
but
not that ending.
I have so many other things to watch.
Like the bar is so low for Iron Fist from season 1. Like that doesn't.
I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. It was just really good.
Yeah.
Well, Marvel Netflix as a whole, it has its up and downs, but overall, it's a good project to follow if you want. And it's always going to be on Netflix. Like, just because they're canceled doesn't mean they're taking it away.
Yeah, they can't take it away. Yeah. Well, no, because I think that's, like, the reason they canceled it was because, like, Disney wants to probably do their own thing with the characters, but Netflix owns... I don't know how it works. Don't quote me on this.
Apparently, Marvel did say that they're excited to see where Daredevil ends up in future projects. Now, it may not be on the Disney streaming service, but he could end up somewhere else. But then they're talking about recasting, and I'm like, I don't want to see people recast. No.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to see all that.
I'm up for it if it's good.
Up for recasting?
If it's good. And it has to be 5 years minimum. That's when I'll stop caring.
Oh, you know Disney.
Or that's when I would have stopped
Disney's going to turn it around. That's why I'm like, what are they going to do with
They're already making a live action Lion King.
What are they going to do with X-Men? Because I don't even know what they're going to do.
What, for Daredevil?
X who?
Well, X-Men for Disney.
Exterminated.
That's...
I don't know.
Damn.
It's like they're going to force the Fox to kiss. You're going to force them to kiss with Marvel. And make a movie.
Oh my god.
Make a movie.
You're going to see the X-Men.
That's all it is. I mean, their companies are still respectively within each other. Disney's just a call shotter.
Yeah.
Y'all make a movie, work together.
And it has to fit our brand. Like,
No blood.
God.
What I love me a good rated R film. Why won't Disney? You know they're not gonna cave.
That's why Daredevil was so great because it was so different from the movies.
Family oriented. That's what I'm scared of. I'm scared that there's gonna be a lot of censorship in my superhero content. I like blood. I like a little raunchiness every now and then.
You know we're not gonna get that.
I'm glad DC is still on a separate slate. Hey, Disney doesn't own anything for DC.
No.
Good, thank God. Because DC needs to remain dark. I just imagine this happy old kid coming over. Can we buy you?
It's like everybody was begging for the X-Men or Wolverine to join the Avengers, but then if they had, we wouldn't have gotten a movie like Logan. We wouldn't have gotten Deadpool. People seem to forget that, like Fox was exploring different genres with these movies, whereas Disney's just, or the MCU's just pushing out the same type of movie over and over.
And is the kid audience really... I mean, honestly, they know we're going to go see it, regardless if there's blood and gore. So I guess it's not even bring up a topic. I was like... Because none of us are going to come together and be like, no more Marvel movies. Like, that's not happening. We've devoted too much time.
It's too late.
What I would want, if they really just wanted to do a movie, just do a movie with the same people. We have 3 seasons of Daredevil. That Bullseye tease, just do a movie and have Bullseye be the main villain. And have that be your finisher for Daredevil.
That's going to be a remake.
No, not a remake. Like, use the same people and just do a movie instead of an actual show.
It's a remake. It's the same.
It's not a remake.
It's not a remake.
It's a continuation.
It's a sequel.
It's the same. You mean a movie? There's a movie with Daredevil and Bullseye already.
No, I'm talking about from this iteration, like the TV shows. I'm not talking about a reboot from like Ben Affleck and Colin Farrell.
It could kind of be a spiritual reboot.
It would be.
It would be the same characters. Just because they're different actors doesn't make it.
But it's not nostalgia because we already have a new iteration of Daredevil, which is.
I wouldn't call it nostalgia. It's just it's done. It's been done. It was done badly, but I mean, I'm not opposed to them doing it again. But
I'm just talking about instead of doing a season 4, if they don't want to do anything more, and they're like, we're excited to see where Daredevil ends up in future projects. Just do one movie and have that finish off the Netflix show. That's what I'm talking about.
There's a lot of directions they can go into.
Yeah,
but if they do that movie, they're going to want to connect it to the MCU, and they're going to probably have Tony Stark walk in and be like, "Ooh, what's going on here, guys?"
Well, that's already assumed that it's going to be connected to the MCU.
Like, it is connected to the MCU, but they're going to force it on me. Like, I don't want to keep seeing Tony Stark. I don't want to do cameos. I don't want to... Like, Disney, just... Please, end it. Stop. Oh my God. What I will say is I like the way that Netflix, these directors are kind of taking into mind the binging aesthetic and the binging mindset, because like we said, this whole season felt like one cohesive piece, and the way that they edited that and they created each episode to blend together. I think the director for Haunting on Hill House even said that he knows audiences are going to be binging the show. Mm-hmm. So he designed the show so that every 3 episodes is its own segment that you feel is like one movie. So it'll just blend into each other. And I think that's something cool that Netflix brings that's different from TV, and maybe the Disney streaming service can do as well. I don't know how they're going to work it out. I don't know if they're going to have commercial breaks like Hulu where you have to pay and you still get commercials. But that, I like that they brought that creative aspect to this whole aspect of the superhero movie and the superhero TV show. It's like a blend of both.
Yeah.
It's a little sad they won't be able to do it again.
Yeah. Well, Disney was going to have the opportunity to try that out with their streaming service. We'll see what they do with
Disney should have just merged with somebody. I'm tired of the streaming service. Just merge.
Disney's going to
add $2 to a subscription I already have.
Yeah, that would have been great if they merged with Netflix and just have like the Disney expansion, and you get like all the Disney movies.
Whole Disney tab, like y'all just making whole new services. Now Verizon, they're gonna become a subscription service. Get Verizon now.
What's the Verizon original?
Get rid of your boxes, internet only.
I'm sorry, you said version? Like, what is version?
Because cable's dying, and I'm telling y'all, when I move out, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting cable. It's not happening.
You're going to do Hulu Live TV or something?
Yeah, I'm going to do Hulu Live TV with my Netflix. I'm going to get the HBO Go, and I'm going to be paying under $100 for all my premium content.
That's what I do now.
A month.
Yeah.
And I have Prime.
If anything, I'll get the most basic of basic cable so I can get some local TV news if I need to watch it.
You watch the news?
No, I don't watch the news. But if there's like a fucking hurricane or we're getting invaded, I don't want to turn on the news to find out the fuck.
You gotta wait the next day.
I don't have a ham radio, my nigga. I gotta get that TV. I'm pretty sure my phone will give me an alert, but I kind of was. But I'm just saying, like, we're getting into the age of streaming services now, and everybody has one. There's fucking companies that I didn't even know had one. Fucking Swiffer probably has a streaming network for their commercials. Fucking, who has one? Starz, Showtime, DirecTV, HBO, Showtime. All of these are streaming. Showtime. All of them.
You said Showtime twice.
Well, yeah.
What do we want to name this episode?
Daredevil-ed eggs.
Yeah, so we're NerdSpice. So we want our episodes to have a nice little fun feel. I kind of want to introduce that for episodes now.
Why not?
So you said Daredevil-ed eggs?
Yeah.
How about Savory Daredevil-ed eggs?
Why is it savory?
Because this season was amazing.
Oh, okay. Because it was well seasoned. Okay, I see. Yeah.
Savory Daredevil -ed eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we'll call it.
Deviled eggs.
Savory Daredevil-ed eggs.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like these food puns.
Well, we got to introduce it more because we haven't really done it as much.
Yes,
okay.
Like, that's what I meant by little gimmicks that people.
Yeah. That's what I want to do. So
damn, we're gonna be some that we're gonna be stumped on. We're gonna have to look up some like foreign food. Like for Jessica Jones, what would be one? What would be a food?
Jessica Jones jam, like Jessica Jam. Like, what?
She's in a jam. What she gonna do now?
Jessica Jones Jamba Juice. Like, I don't know.
It works.
Jessica Java. What's alcohol with the J? Because she drinks a lot of alcohol.
Johnny Walker.
Jessica Johnny Walker. Jessica Jim Bean. But anyway, this episode will be titled Savory Daredevil Eggs.
Savory Daredevil eggs. And probably that's gonna throw a match. You gotta catch him in your mouth. I'm done.
So we hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Be sure to look us up in the description for social links if you want to find us. We are always active on Twitter. At least, we all are, pretty much.
Please follow me.
You can also find our NerdSpice podcast on Twitter at NerdSpicePod. You can also find the podcast on different platforms such as iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, now on YouTube.
When can we say wherever you listen to podcasts? Because I swear all my podcasts say that.
When we have people asking where else are we located, but we got to get people to do that.
Right. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys have a great night.
We appreciate you. Wipe your mouths off. That was some delicious food we had. Yum, yum.
All right, everyone, have a good night.